What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Let's Build the U.S.S. Voyager Season 1, Episode 22. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. And if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Today we've got about a 15-minute episode. We're going to be picking up right where we left off, closing in the top of our lower hull. This way we can get ready to do our backbone. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to get rid of a couple of blocks of gray access here, which was remnants of our old backbone. We don't need it anymore. Okay. So basically what we're just going to have to do is just blend all this in together. So this way we can try to close in the top. And essentially to do this, all we're really going to have to do is just follow our pattern that we've already got in place. So you can see that's why I'm going in one with cut line for the white concrete, and then we're going to do a row of half slabs where we have that gap. And then we also have to figure out how we're going to blend in this top section here. I think what we just might do is try to do continuing with our cut line that we have on the sides. Because as you can see, we're going to have to make a couple of adjustments here, so this way our template is matching up. That last row needs to actually be swapped out to 3, it looks like. Now that's definitely one way that we can do that, but I think the problem that we're going to have is that what I'm trying to do here is anticipate what's going to be happening with the backbone. Now, I'm just going to be up front. We are going to have to make some adjustments to what we have here, because it's not going to be until we get the backbone in place that we're really going to be able to get this to blend in the way that it needs to blend in. So I think what we're going to do first is that we're going to forego going with our cut line, and we're going to try to do a row of going 2 with the cut line. I think that might work out a little bit better. If this doesn't work, we can always go with 1 block going with the cut and seeing how that looks. That's really the best way I can describe this, because I'm basically just trying to anticipate how the blending is all going to look together. It doesn't really seem like that's going to work either. Like I was saying, the easiest thing to do here would just be going 1 with a cut. So we made a slight adjustment there. Now we're going to try going 2 with the cut again. I think this might work out a little bit better, because now our blending points should match up a little bit more. Because basically what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to use a different pattern, but still having the cut lines match up. That's why we just made a couple of different changes here. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, see, now we're finally going to be going to what I said we were going to do, going one with the cut. Because basically what's happening is that every template that we just tried to use, it's elongating the template too much in the back area, and it more or less brings it up higher than what it needs to be. So it's really just coming up with a pattern that makes it work, where it's going to blend everything in, but it's not stretching it out as far, because at this point where we are on the lower hull, it's a lot lower down. So you don't want that ceiling to be the same height going all the way back, because it's, as we go back on our lower hull, it's going to slightly transition downward as we go from layer to layer to layer. Most of the time I try to do this trial and error stuff off camera, but this particular section of the ship wasn't super challenging, but it took a couple of attempts to get it where it needed to be. But with that being said, what we're doing now, we're going to be adjusting this slightly when we come back to do our backbone. But it's all good, because I got you guys. We're going to do this step by step by step to do everything that we need to do to get this up to how Voyager looked in the tour episode. So now we're just going to fill in this gap using our half slabs. Okay. So now we've got that blended in a little bit. Like I said, don't worry about how this blending looks right now. It's not until we get the backbone in that all this is going to start to make sense. And this area right here, we'll have to kind of rework it a little bit to get the template where it needs to be. So now in this row of half slabs, I'm just going to continue the pattern that we had on the previous level, going with the cut line, even though they're not matching up perfectly, just literally going with that cut line. All right. You see what we did there? We went right up to this cut line, and then we went in with a cut mirroring this layer here. We brought it all the way back until we got to our point. So now we're going to do the same thing with the white concrete. So hopefully this whole process that we're making will start to make a little bit more sense, because we're still following our pattern. Not sure how that's going to look. Might be better just to have it going at a point with the cut. But we're going to try it out. Let's see how it looks. We're making decent progress, though. Within the episodes that we do this week, we'll be doing the backbone. We'll have the backbone almost wrapped up by the end of this week's episodes, and we'll really be moving along here. The stuff that we're doing now is really the hardest part on Voyager. Like I said, it's just going to be a slight trial and error process to get this area down. And I'm not even going to lie, even after everything is said and done, I still I'm my own worst critic when it comes to building, and I think I'm pretty happy with how this area ultimately turns out, but it's not perfect. I'd say it's probably like 96, 97% maybe of where it needs to be. If I rebuilt Voyager a second time, more or less what I would do is I would focus a little bit more on the backbone and getting that right before I tried to do the top side of the lower hull. Because that's basically giving you guys a spoiler as what we'll ultimately be doing, because once we have all this closed in, when we go into the backbone, we're going to use half slabs to transition downward, and then we'll come back and we'll make adjustments more or less to the roof of the lower hull to make everything blend in together. And that's basically what I should have done to begin with. But, you know, it's just one of those things. You live and you learn. You know, you learn new things with all these builds, or at least I do anyway. But, you know, I like showing all this stuff because going through this trial and error period, this is how we learn, you know. I never like showing just a clean tutorial without my mistakes, because those mistakes ultimately help me to get better as a builder. So if you don't like going through that stuff, this may not necessarily be the tutorial for you. I'm putting this out for people that want to learn how to build on Minecraft, and I'm not saying that my process is perfect, but everything that we do in this tutorial series, I'm going to go through all the steps with you guys as far as what I do to build these ships out. So we're not looking too bad here. We've got this whole top section pretty much blended in. Now, this is actually going to give us an idea of what we'll be doing going forward, because we'll be using the half slabs, and it won't make sense until we build it out, but like, you guys will see what I mean when we get there. But this end area right here is kind of what inspired me to go with getting the backbone where it needed to be. And don't worry about the shuttle bay. The outline that we have right now, that is just a template. That is not representing what the final shuttle bay is going to look like. We haven't even honestly begun detailing it. Just trying to get the overall shape of the lower hull right, and then we'll come back and make whatever adjustments that we need to make. You can see all I'm doing right now is I'm just fixing the pattern to go with a cut. Yeah, and you should be able to see what I really mean now on the sides. Voyager's a little hefty on this side and this side. When you zoom out and you look at it from the sides, not necessarily from the back, you really don't notice it. But right now, like, yeah, she's like 40 pounds overweight at the moment. But like I said, don't worry, we're gonna slim her down in the next couple of episodes. And we'll be able to, the cool thing is that we're going to be able to do that without rebuilding this whole lower hull. We'll just be shaving off a couple of layers and just basically stretching out thinner layers, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean when we get into it. But this is why I say sometimes it's so vital. Just, you got to get something down. You got to see how it looks. Having that first attempt, it's vital to your build, because this is ultimately going to show you what's working, what's not working. If you're paying attention to what you're doing anyway. This is how I learn. I've adopted these traits from just being an artist, because I do the same thing when I draw. You throw down your outline sketch to see how it looks. Gives you an idea of what changes you need to make, what works, what doesn't work, and then you just start molding it. It would be a similar to process if you're working with clay. It's more or less the same thing. You're just going through a trial and error period until you get the desired shape that you want. This is why I say it's so vital to break down your overall shapes that you're working with and to establish what that shape looks like in general so that it can be your guiding point to get you where you need to get. So right now we're just going to close this in. Now if I were going with a pattern, we'd be going at an angle, but to be honest with you, this whole section right here is going to be closed in. We don't even necessarily have to worry about closing this in. I'm just going to do it. Because I'm at this point in the build, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do just yet with the backbone, and I'm pretty much just trying to get this as clean as I possibly can, so that this way, when we come in on the next episode and start working that backbone, that we have a clean area to work with and it's all just closed in. That's basically the thought process behind it. And that's also why I'm not super concerned, at least with this specific area on the build, because like I said, all this is going to be closed in with a backbone anyway. So I'm not super concerned with the template. I'm just more or less concerned with just getting it closed in. So that's why I'm not going with the exact pattern. I mean, you can see that at row to row, the pattern is staying the same, but I'm just following what I already have in place and just going straight across, just to get it closed in. So by the end of the episode, you should have something that looks like this. But we are in pretty good shape here. Pretty happy with the progress that we've made so far. Voyager's looking pretty good. We've got a ton more left to do. We still haven't, we have to fix the shelf that our bridge is going to sit on, but in order to do this, we have to get the backbone done. But all the prep work now is in place so that we can start working on that backbone. But I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. If you guys did enjoy this content, please help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button and helping me in supporting the channel. All these views, comments, likes, it helps my channel's algorithm to help it grow. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up on the YouTube channel in the future. We've got Voyager Season 2 that's going to be coming up, where we're going to be getting into the interior of fleshing out Voyager and also fixing some last-minute loose ends on the exterior. We've also got the Excelsior 2 class that's going to be coming up. That will be immediately following Voyager, as well as the Enterprise D Season 2. That'll be coming up as well. And then we've also got the Enterprise A 2.0, which we'll be doing once we hit 1,000 subscribers. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for me today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section. Post your photos in the Discord.